Welcome everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to this week's episode of the weekly HO-Scale Newsletter Recaps for June 9th, 2025. If you're new to this series, this is where we take a look at a variety of newsletters and product updates in the HO-Scale community, talk about what's new, what's interesting, what has changed since last week. We'll go ahead and get right into it. As always, do me a favor and subscribe if you're new, or if you find yourself coming back anyways. Really appreciate it, helps me to make a couple dollars, so thank you very much. Like the video if you enjoyed as well. Drop me a comment if you are excited about any of these announcements or just want to chat. Love talking with you guys. I have also changed my microphone here and we'll be doing a little bit different audio mixing, so let me know if you enjoy that as well, if you think that sounds a little bit better. But let's go ahead and get started this week with ScaleTrains. And as you can see, the Dad's Trains sale ends on the day this video is going up on Monday, so we'll move fairly quickly through this. Just a quick reminder and end scale of some of the products currently on sale, as well as some deals in HO scale. These are some of the new Thrall box cards that recently arrived, as well as the remaining stock of the second run of Trinity Reefers, and a hopper in S scale as well. In N scale, the AC44C6Ms recently arrived in those paint schemes, and also some new Thrall 2-hid coil cars. Just a quick recap of those details and the road names and paint schemes. But moving into HO scale, my favorite announcement this week of new arrivals, I have the Sonic Bonnet. Just received my pre-order notice from Lombard Hobby, so I will be picking that up this weekend. Should have a review out to you next week, so look forward to that. Very excited to see this model. Did see a little bit of a price increase due to tariffs, unfortunately, but regardless, very excited. There's the available paint schemes that you saw flashing by. Of course, a lot of the different mains in this, as well as the horsehead schemes, with a very limited stock of the DC to AC sine wave versions as well. A new model in stock from the Exact Rail line in their Evolution series, so a slight step down from their Platinum series, but still really good details. These are the Gunderson 6269 High Cube box cars with the road names and paint schemes you can see flashing by here. Do you think these look really neat? Some very different options for you. And in their Operator line, some new 40-foot square containers. So here are some of the liveries. I'll let them play through as well. You can see the few there listed, only 5 paint schemes. No Amazon ones just yet. And in HO scale, some modern angled containers, also 40-footers, 4 different versions here. Also in their Operator line, they don't release these in their rivet counter line at all. And another reminder of their new run of PS Trinity backpackers, the well car sets. There's the offerings that they highlight there with the trailer train as well as the BN versions. Little reminder of some billing updates for a bunch of models that recently arrived, those ones we just talked about there. The pre-orders will expire from ScaleTrains directly on Friday the 20th. And moving on to some new announcements for June. First up, we've got the Silverside coal gondolas in the Operator line. This used to be a Fox Valley Models tooled car that is now being released under their Operator line officially. And it does have some increase in quality compared to previous Operator releases, that being the addition of molded on grab irons and, as they call it, other details, so varies between the different versions here. But that is going to be moving forward across the rest of their Operator line. They will have a slightly higher level of detail, which is nice to see, rather than just holes where grab irons might go. So just a little bit of an upgrade that we'll see on all of the Operator tooled cars moving forward. Here's a list of all the road names and paint schemes there. Only one of them shown up above there, one of the southern versions. Pre-orders for these and the other models we'll talk about in just a second are due on Monday, June 30th. Looking like winter delivery on this model. And a new announcement also in the rivet counter line here. The Gunderson Multi-Max Autoracks are making a return. There's the paint schemes here flashing by on your screen here. These are fairly modern versions. You can see the brand new CPKC livery there as well. Here's a little bit of history on the cars themselves, and then some of the model details. They do note this is new tooling for the etched metal side panels, which is a nice upgrade. There's the road names and paint schemes. You can see a pretty decent variety of all the current Class 1 paint schemes. Same order deadline and estimated delivery of June 30th and winter 2025 respectively. And moving on to the locomotive announcement here in the rivet counter line, we've got a new run of Dash 9s with some pretty unique road name variations here. You saw the ex-BNSF KCS patch versions. We have a bunch of Genesee and Wyoming roads as well, which are actually released under their hypotypical line. We'll get to that detail in just a second. We got BNSF fake bonnets, some well-weathered Santa Fe versions as well. Canadian National there with the teardrop windows. So very exciting to see some of these more unique road numbers or road variations make their way to the ScaleTrains lineup. There's the history there on screen, and you could see as well. And here are some of the model details. You'll note their call out of why the Genesee and Wyoming versions are noted as hypotypical, because the grade crossing camera in the cab is not what ScaleTrains has tooled. That is the only variation that makes them not prototypical. And I've seen online, and I kind of agree, it probably doesn't require a hypotypical scheme, in my opinion, to note that, because it's such a small detail that isn't perfect, but I do appreciate ScaleTrains' commitment to providing the most accurate model, but that is just the label that they do apply. You do see all the road names and paint schemes there, with all of the different versions called out. Very exciting offerings for many modern modelers with some of the weathered versions as well. Once again, pre-orders are due by Monday, June 30th, with an estimated delivery later this winter of 2025. We have an N-Scale SD40-2 arriving soon for you N-Scalers out there. And here is a little heads up on their 2025 summer road trip. They'll be at a bunch of train shows. Go say hi, get a free grab bag. Here's a quick list of the meet and greets they'll be doing, starting at 7 p.m. unless noted otherwise. So if you're in the area, go ahead and check them out. And a reminder, they'll be at the National N-Scale Convention as well at the end of June. But that's all we have here from ScaleTrains for this week. We'll move on now to Athearn next. Next up in Athearn's Dispatcher, their newsletter for the past week. Same comments as before, no new product announcements. Their pre-orders from April are still open. Just a little note on tariffs there for you to read over if you're interested. They did have some changes to the Genesis ICC caboose model artwork. So I'll just go ahead and let these play through in case you want to catch some differences if you're looking to order some of those. I do think this is a pretty cool offering with all of the chassis safety versions, which is pretty neat. A model now in stock, though, are the 48-foot Husky stack well cars in the standard Athearn line. These are pretty run-of-the-mill well cars to me. Lots of plastic details there. These are only single cars. They're not in any sets here that are currently in stock. Good up to 48-foot containers, so you might be able to grab some of those ScaleTrains 40-footers and put those in there if you're looking to build yourself an intermodal train. And also in the standard Athearn line, the 50-foot high cube, double door, plug door box cars with a few different road names as you can see flashing by. I do like that BC Rail version and of course the Santa Fe shock control, some of my favorites there. They did talk about both of those models in their Train Tuesday, which is available on their YouTube channel. You can always check it out afterwards as well if you would like to take a look. But that's all we have here from Athearn for this week. We'll go on to InterMountain next. Now on to InterMountain Railway Company's newsletter for June 2025. Here's a quick preview of what we'll be talking about here today from them. 2 new announcements available for pre-order. New run of GP16s as well as cylindrical covered hoppers in both HO and N-Scale. And we'll quickly take a look at their Trinity 5161s that are now shipping. We'll take a look at those paint schemes since I missed that initial release a few months ago. Here's a little bit of history there on some of the models themselves, as well as just some details on the models. As always, feel free to pause at any time to take a look at any details here. First up, the locomotive announcement here in HO scale, new run of GP16s. All of these will have DCC equipped by default, either DCC silent with a lock pilot decoder or DCC sound with lock sound. If you do just want a DC version, definitely reach out to them when you order and they'll be able to provide that for you. Here's a quick look at the different paint schemes here. Lots of all new paint schemes called out in the bullets there. A fan favorite, I'm sure, will be some of those RJ Corman ones in the bottom right. And the next new announcement here, the cylindrical hoppers, a few different versions, lots of Canadian schemes here. You can see the Canadian wheat board up at the top has a different artwork on the left and right side. Everything else will be the same pretty much on both sides there. You'll see anything in the yellow bubbles is an all new paint scheme for InterMountain. And here are even more of them. Some really cool offerings here. You got that very colorful Canadian national rainbow there. And quickly in N scale, some more cylindrical hoppers offered specifically in N scale. Here's the forms on the site as well. You'd like to take a quick look at those item numbers. All reservations there are due by July 31st. You'll see the prices there for both the GP16s as well as the hoppers themselves. And the same thing here for N scale. Just briefly take a look at that. And here is a reminder of the Trinity 5161 covered hoppers that are now shipping, the paint schemes that are offered currently in this run. I do have a bunch of those AGP and a, as they call them, Athearn's Prime for Grime version from Athearn Genesis. I would like to pick up some just to do a quick comparison. I don't own any InterMountain rolling stock. I've heard good things about them. Of course, their wheel sets are a pretty much industry standard for high quality wheel sets. Do love that Potash Corp scheme, or Potash. I always say it incorrectly. I apologize. We do also have a bunch of the BNSF Heritage series. I do have one of those, a Gunderson hopper there with the Great Northern scheme. Might pick up some of these and mix and match. InterMountain's done them before with different versions of the BNSF Heritage series, but this is the first time that these versions are making their way to HO scale. And here's a quick reminder of that order form with the pricing there as well. Currently shipping to dealers or for pre-orders as well. But that's all here from InterMountain. We'll move on now quickly to Bachmann. Moving on now to Bachmann's newsletter. This primarily focuses on the N-Scale 262s, the Prairie type. There's a little bit of details there. Since this is N-Scale, I'll move fairly quickly, just give you a quick overview of the items currently on their way in N-Scale. And some of the features there as well. These are also available in HF scale. You'll see some of these road names down below and their respective features. And the main reason I did want to showcase this, we do have a new model update here of a track cleaning gondola, which I think is pretty cool. Always like track cleaning cars. I have a Walthers boxcar, one of my own. I think it's a pretty cool little feature to have on your layout because you can sort of hide it in the yard and then it serves a functional purpose. So just a quick update there from Bachmann. We'll move on now to Walthers next. Moving on now to Walthers' e-update for the past week. First up, a spotlight on Microscale Industries, a graphics manufacturer, family owned out of California, if that matters to you as well. Heard good things about them. I don't own any myself. I will be picking some up eventually to do some renumbering and decaling of some passenger cars, but I definitely recommend putting them on your list and checking them out if you're interested in some of the decals that they do have. A reminder of the deadline for the Walthers National Model Railroad Build-Off is coming up on July 1st. The main category is the silver screen scenes this year. Of course, separate divisions for adults and youth, as well as the freestyle categories if you'd like to enter and show off your skills there. A model in stock, the bi-level Autoracks. These are in the mainline series, 89 footers, open Autoracks. Nice to see metal couplers on these models, and they're able to tackle down to 24-inch radius curves, so that's a very interesting feat given that they are a 89-foot flat car, so good to see that innovation there. And in the Proto series, Seco flat cars, these pulpwood loads, as you can see here, are sold separately, so you can pick up some of the flat cars and some of the loads. They do look pretty decent quality to me from what I've seen, so I definitely recommend checking them out if that's interesting to you. Back to the mainline run of 36-foot, 10,000-gallon insulated tank cars. These are now in stock as well if you'd like to grab some of those, some neat different paint schemes on those. And a reminder of Walthers' warehouse sale. These are very limited time deals. I did actually pick up my set of F7s, the ABBA Southern Pacific Black Widows that I'm super happy with from a warehouse sale a few months ago. Would definitely recommend checking them out if there is a model that maybe you're looking to buy and it pops up on sale. Definitely recommend just checking it out, seeing if it's worth it for you. They have more than just Walthers brands in that sale. So give them a shot if you're interested in grabbing some products at a bit of a discount. If you'd like to fill out some more N-scale buses, here's an MCI D4505 if you'd like to pick some up. From Atlas, we got the HO-RS11 from Alco here. These recently delivered as well. If you'd like to grab them from Walthers or from Atlas directly, up to you. See whatever pricing works out for you. But that's all here from Walthers for this week. We'll move on to some quick reminders from Rapido. And to round us off for this week, just a couple order reminders from Rapido. First up in N-scale, the ViaRail F40PH-2Ds. I think these look really sharp. Hope they make them back to HO scale one day. I really like those rebuilds there, especially like the Schema 6428 there. Some of my favorites, love seeing some pictures of them rolling around. But just a quick update with this model. Since we didn't get a Rapido news yet at the time of recording, we'll probably get one in the next week or so. And to go along with those locomotives, we got the N-scale via LRC coaches. Same order deadline of June 17th coming up next week. Just a quick reminder, there's those paint schemes on screen for you. And final order reminder, in HO scale this time, their new run of FA1s and FB1s. You can see all the locomotives there. Sorry, the Erie Lackawanna there is cut off at the top, but that's that paint scheme. All of the ones there with B units will be offered with B units, and the units at the bottom there are only A units, so just a heads up on that. We'll probably take a look at all the schemes once again in greater detail next week in Rapido's newsletter, which should be coming out fairly soon. But just a quick reminder, just wanted to make sure you had enough time to consider ordering one of these. But that is all I have for you this week. Thank you very much for watching. If you did make it this far, consider subscribing. Really appreciate it. Once again, helps me to make a couple of dollars, so thank you very much. Like the video if you enjoyed as well, or just want to help out the algorithm, and drop me a comment if you're excited for any of these announcements, mostly those ScaleTrains announcements. I know I certainly am. And of course, if you have any questions or just want to chat, and let me know how the audio sounds once again, just trying to make these as best I can. But thanks again, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.